Against the Ropes, #1.
Welcome to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda and Christian Rodriguez. What's up, y'all?
So ready to get the show started. All right,
What we're talking about today?
Man, we got a lot of topics today. So we're gonna start off with talking about the Mayweather fiasco. That, man, a lot of talk about that. And then we're gonna recap our Allstar Boxing show event that we had last week. Then we're gonna go off, and Chris is gonna tell us a little bit about his Creed 2 experience. And then we're gonna cover the fight week, Usyk versus Bellew. And then we're gonna share any news that you guys might have, any boxing news. All right. So with that, guys, Mayweather, Chris, give me your thoughts on that.
I was thinking about like Manny Pacquiao, how he signed with Al Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you talk about like how other fighters think about Al Heyman, like, oh, they're protecting me, and he does take care of the fighters. And when we interviewed Freddie Roach this past Saturday, he was talking about, oh, I'm pretty sure hopefully he gets taken care of, you know, in this case, Manny Pacquiao, because now he's with Al Heyman. So it makes you think whether or not that rematch is conditionally already set between Mayweather and Pacquiao, because I'm pretty sure the only thing that Pacquiao wants is not fighting like any other boxer. He just wants to fight one guy. Yeah. And that's just Mayweather.
Yeah, at this stage of his career, like, it's all about legacy fights in a way. I mean, right. He's already financially set for the most part.
Right.
And, I mean, there's really nothing left for him to do in the sport than to try to, you know, avenge that defeat. Whether that happens or not, it's going to be a tough task, you know, against Mayweather. He's, you know, we talked about it. He's a very, you know, high reward, low risk, and he does that inside the square circle as well. He doesn't take too many risks.
Yeah, I believe it. What I mentioned is, I think if he does come back, he'll probably have like some sort of regular fight, and then he'll fight Manny Pacquiao. But if he wants to continue, right, whether or not the low risk, high reward philosophy is able to still stand by, and I don't think it is.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw. You know, this weekend, he was trying to put on this what he calls now a private show for a high fee. It wasn't supposed to be official or nothing like that. So he said that he never really signed off officially on this fight, and so you know, he went to Instagram and he addressed that this fight was never supposed to be, and it's not gonna happen. You know, so man, that just looks bad on his brand.
You have anything to add, Gio?
Smart.
Yeah, he's always smart outside the ring to put his name out there. That's usually it. Yeah. It's pure brand.
So, and I feel like he understands today's world very well, because they released that press conference, quote unquote, and everybody was talking about it, right? Yeah. And he comes out the next day and says that it wasn't what people thought. So all the attention was on him, and then we're talking about him now. So he's smart. He knows how to stay relevant.
Yeah.
For me, that was a really good promotion for that other fighter, for Rising. I don't know if there's any like fees that, you know, anything behind the scenes, but that was also a very good promotion.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do it just for no reason.
Yeah, if you're good at
I'm sure there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
If you're good at something, you don't do it for free.
Yeah, he took pictures with those gloves, so I'm sure like their sales probably went up.
And remember, I forgot where we were, dude. Oh, I think we're at our Allstar Boxing show.
Yeah.
And checking through Instagram, and then I kept seeing Mayweather in Tokyo. Remember, I asked you, I was like, dude, why is Mayweather in Tokyo? Like,
again?
Oh, you did?
Yeah. You're probably too focused on the show.
I was just too focused.
But yeah, I was just wondering what he was doing over there.
Huh.
I mean, he was there that one time, you know, when he ran into Pacquiao, and then this again.
I should have taken you serious, Joe.
Yeah, everything Mayweather does, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, so.
Anything else with Mayweather? Just disappointed?
Yeah, I'm just disappointed that, to me, it looked like, I mean, the promotion-wise, that was smart, but
yeah, here's my
everything
thing.
else just looks
here's my thing
bad.
with Mayweather. I remember there was this nice interview that he was on First Take, and Max Kellerman, like, straight up asked Mayweather, if you look at, like, any other general sport, like, you always have, like, the greatest athletes come back from behind.
Yeah.
In this case, like, Michael Jordan from the Bulls, and then he came to the Wizards. Brett Favre from the Packers, and later he started playing with the Vikings and the Jets. So you always have like all-time greats coming back to play the sport just to see if they're able to like match up with today's like current players that they could ball, right? And they come back and they still are able to ball. So one time Max Kellerman on the ESPN First Take, he asked him, "Hey Mayweather, you know, do you ever like look at other boxers and be like, geez, I could take on that young stud, you know, like you know, just like the other." He's like, he's just shaking his head. He's like, I don't look at things like that. You know, he was just kind of looking at things like if it makes like money sense.
Yeah, he doesn't have that Leonard mentality where Leonard saw Hagler in the ring. He was like licking his chops, and he's like, he came back to fight him.
Mayweather is smart. He's not gonna like tie into that bait. Like he's gonna stick to what got him there.
Yeah,
and that's just listen to Al Heyman.
Well, that money makes sense. Yeah, and right now it only makes sense with Pacquiao. So
yeah,
we had a chance to talk to Freddie Roach about it. Do you guys want to play a clip about that, or?
You can go ahead.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, no, we definitely talked to Freddie about that, and yeah, he kind of said that too, that it makes sense for both fighters. That's the biggest money grab that they have out there, and so.
Here's the thing with Manny Pacquiao going with Al Heyman and PBC. So I saw an interview with Bob Arum yesterday. I forgot who's the interviewer. I think somebody from Fight Hub, and they asked him about his the situation between Manny Pacquiao going to PBC, and he started bringing up like Manny Pacquiao's tax situation. Like he understands that Pacquiao doesn't have money, right? And that he's not able to like afford Manny Pacquiao to have the bounce that he wants, right? In my mind, I'm like, what does that say about Top Rank? Like, are you saying that you don't? How's that gonna look in the future, right? And he has good fighters. But that kind of says a lot, and that's why and I'll talk about it on the random news regarding PBC. But that to me kind of stuck out. Like, you have Al Heyman able to take care of your prize fighter that you used to have for like so many years. And now, Bob Arum is just like trying to like belittle. Like, he's mad. I'm pretty sure he's mad.
He's salty. No, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play our exclusive interview with Freddie Roach. You guys can listen to the full interview on our YouTube channel. But here it goes.
Pacquiao's now with Al Heyman. Can you give me your thoughts on that? Is it the right move?
Yeah, very unusual move, but I'm sure there were some promises made with who he's going to get to fight and so forth, and hopefully they come true. But it's I don't really care who a fighter fights for and stuff like this. My job is just to get a fighter ready for whoever's in front of him.
All right.
Yeah, and that kind of sums up like Al Heyman has taken care of every single boxer in his stable, and now for him to take care of Manny Pacquiao, that's a generational thing.
Yeah.
If he's able to take care of Manny Pacquiao, then other boxers are going to be on notice. That you see, Al Heyman does take care of his boxers.
Yeah.
Someone that, in this case, Top Rank, in this case, Bob Arum didn't.
Yeah, and Freddie says an unusual move because, loyalty in this game, right?
So you don't think Bob Arum took care of Pacquiao? In what sense?
If he stuck with him for so long, he did take care of
millions.
But I do think
isn't that the end game?
It is, but I think people told Pacquiao along the road, "Hey, you could have paid so much more."
How so?
I'm pretty sure they could have told him I'm sure Pacquiao didn't get paid the same number that Mayweather got. I feel nobody does, but I just feel like along the road somebody could have stressed to Pacquiao. I feel like Pacquiao.
So you think he could have made more money if he was signed to somebody else?
I think with Al Heyman, yeah. I think Al has the money, and you seeing fighters back and forth.
I think that's one of the problems I have with Al Heyman is he overpays everybody, and we saw at one point everybody was hiding behind Al Heyman. Like, everybody was hiding behind that O and their record.
Yeah.
Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Adrian Broner. You know, these guys were all getting paid a shitload of money for fighting nobodies.
Yeah.
Like, who were the first fights on PBC? Like,
yeah, it was pretty lackluster.
Every PBC fighter has ran through John Molina Jr., Robert Guerrero, and they're making so much money.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Yeah.
Money that they probably didn't deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm creating a business and I have a bunch of pockets, and I have related business around my area, yeah. Let's say I have a coffee business, and there's 3 coffee businesses inside the street, right? And I have a bunch of investors that invest me a lot of money, right? So I'm gonna lower my price and let all those other businesses go out of business. Until then, I raise up the prices, right? So in this case, right, Al Heyman raises the purses of these boxers, right?
And then everybody starts to get mad.
And then everybody starts to get mad. Let the other boxers and let the other promotionals die off. In this case, HBO, which it did happen. And that's why you're seeing that happen right now.
So you're saying Bob Arum didn't take care of Pacquiao because there was another guy willing to overpay?
I think when somebody says somebody didn't take care of him, in this case, Floyd Mayweather, because he always offered him money and stuff like that, you should come. Yeah. I think he's looking at it at the sense that, look, I'm taking low risk and high reward.
Yeah.
And if you come on my side, you're able to do that. And I think when you look at Manny-Pacquiao, he killed himself, took a lot of punishment to get those millions. And the fact that supposedly there might be some IRS tax going on at his behalf, like, says a lot. Maybe Byron didn't take care of him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of stuff that we don't know.
Something that Al Heyman has is that he has that financial mind. You know, that he did go to Harvard. He has that. So I feel like he is educating his fighters, not just, you know.
I don't know about all that. That's all speculation. But so you rather Pacquiao have the career with Bob Arum, or have a career with Al Heyman where he's not gonna fight?
Who?
You're basically saying,
if I had to pick a promoter,
what does low risk high reward mean?
Wait, go back to your question. I was confused.
No, what does low risk high reward mean?
Low risk and high reward is fight a fighter that's not
exactly
in your same.
That's
exactly. So you rather have Pacquiao, his career with Bob Arum, fighting everybody, becoming a legend, or would you rather have him with Al Heyman, where he's not gonna fight big names?
Would prefer him to go with Golden Boy, because Golden Boy puts those. No. Like,
it's not the question.
I think
speculation.
No, I'm thinking about it from the boxer sense.
Yeah.
In the sport of boxing, it's gonna retire you if you're stupid enough to try to make more extra millions towards the end. In this case, Manny Pacquiao, it looks like he's gonna get retired by the sport, right?
Yeah.
Either that, or you get knocked out of the ring like Bernard Hopkins, right? And it retires you in the ring. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, in the sport of boxing, you have to be smart outside the ring in order for you to last.
AKA Canelo.
And that's a perfect example too.
Yeah. Exactly. Canelo. So let's not be hypocritical.
No, for Canelo, he's got like a balance of fighting really good, opponents, plus he's getting a good purse. Without Heyman's like a little bit of.
So let's not complain when we're not entertained.
No,
when Pacquiao starts fighting fucking Berto, then let's not complain.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, he's not gonna have like those caliber fights that he had throughout his career, or the fights he would have otherwise have had if he were with Golden Boy throughout. He would have had some tough matchups.
I'm talking about Golden Boy here.
No, I'm just saying like what promoter.
I'm talking about Bob Arum, because you guys are saying that he didn't take care of Pacquiao. I don't know in what sense. What sense is that?
I'm saying the fact that there's some problems going on with the IRS with Manny Pacquiao sounds like he lost.
What does that have to do with Bob Arum?
He's his promoter. He gives
his promoter. He's not his daddy.
But who does he work for?
I guess
Top Rank.
He's a promoter. He's not an advisor, and
he's not his dad. He's not going to tell him how to spend his money.
That's where Al Heyman comes in. Like he's an
advisor.
He advises you financially.
Doesn't Floyd have supposedly financial problems? Are you going to blame Al Heyman? No, you're going to blame Mayweather, right?
I think we've seen so much bigger purses on Floyd Mayweather's end compared to Manny Pacquiao's end. Yeah. That's one thing we can't argue at all. And at the end of the day, I feel like all Mayweather wants to do, and Al Heyman, is put other companies out of business, just like they did with HBO. That's the end game. That's why Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, all the promoters, they're scared because they know what they were doing. They were basically, simple word, monopolizing. Yeah. But they can't prove it in court, and they couldn't prove it at all.
To me, it just seems like Bob Arum is like an old school promoter, kind of like, I don't want to compare him exactly to Don King, but like
he's fucking 90 years old, dude.
No, they get their money, and I feel like Al Heyman's not the type of person that needs all that money. I mean, I think he's smart enough to make it out like on his he has his own money. I don't think he's that greedy. I don't think he's as greedy as like past promoters.
These are all assumptions.
It's hard. We can only base it on what we see on money,
You can say he's the greediest person because he's having everybody under his stable. And wasn't he being sued for the Ali Act? Wasn't that one of the reasons why they made that act in the beginning? Because he was acting as a manager and a promoter?
No.
Even though he won't admit it?
No. The Ali Act.
People don't mention that.
No. I mentioned it on that podcast.
I know you mentioned part of it, but not the whole thing.
No,
it's a long thing if you read through it.
The Ali Act is to protect a fighter from the promoters. And the only reason why
Al Heyman.
Yeah. In this case.
He's a promoter, right?
Hold up. The reason why they couldn't prove that Al Heyman, in this case, Golden Boy, saying that, Al Heyman is doing wrong, is because, like I mentioned.
Because he pays his people a lot of money, so they're not going to talk bad about it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's because you want to be taken care of. Because at the end of the day, you mentioned one word, right? Loyalty. And I mentioned that too in the last podcast too. Loyalty.
Everybody's loyal to money.
Yeah. I mean, and you just take the history of like top ranked fighters, and Mikey had some issues, and so like.
And there's that's the thing with Manny Pacquiao that I understand. How come he couldn't fight Terrence Crawford?
Yeah. Because he does. That fight's not gonna give him any money back then. So why would you fight it?
So that's
why would you fight him?
So that's low risk, high reward, right?
That's high
risk. High risk.
High reward. Yeah.
So no, that's the Mikey Garcia philosophy. And that's not the type
Let's
of philosophy.
Let's say they fight in an arena of 20,000 people. Pacquiao's going to bring 15,000. Crawford's going to bring 2,000 people in. What's the point of fighting that?
No, Crawford brings... Well, I mean, if you look
at... In Omaha. Come on. Just stop it with that shit.
No, but that's... that if you're a promoter, if you want to make money... In fact, Terrence Crawford, his contract that he has with Top Rank, the minimum purse that he's going to get is $3 million. That's more than any fighter that I have seen get paid in regards to like Keith Thurman.
Oh, he has a perfect career then because he's fought 0 names and he's getting $3 million at least per fight.
And then, like,
that's pretty good.
And I mentioned like I'm mentally ready for Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence not to fight for the next 2 years.
I don't think they should for the next 2 years. They gotta build up their name first, build up their brand. Because you put that on pay-per-views and it sell like 20,000 pay-per-views.
Because we saw that right with David Lemieux and Triple G.
Yeah.
And we're only going to see that between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So that's that with Mayweather. So then we had the event, Allstar Boxing. You want to talk about that, Chris?
Yeah, no, it was an exciting night again of boxing matches. Again, I messaged you guys, like I started, boxing just to get into fitness, and man, it takes a while. So I did message you guys, like I have a newfound respect for like these fighters, man. Like even 4 rounds, like it's heavy, and so you gotta be ready. But yeah, we had a good night of fights. We had some controversial calls.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
Which we'll talk about. But yeah, what were you guys impressed with on that night? I'll start with you, Chris.
Just disappointed, but it's more of what happened.
Tell us why.
With Abraham.
Because the show was not disappointing. It was a pretty good show. It was a lot of action.
Yeah. That's what I'm not trying to disregard what happened in the show. The show is always awesome because you have, like I mentioned, we spent this like 20 minutes about why we love, what's one of the things that we love being there. And so we had this fight with Abraham Lopez, and the other guy was named Jesus, I believe. Bibiano. And we talk about how sometimes, we said this in the last week, that we always get the scorecards right.
Yeah.
Before they're even
not
announced.
Brag,
not to sound brag or anything like that. And this was nothing in regards to like we're doing groupthink, right? Like you always want to avoid that.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing the same situation, right?
Yeah, that's why I always like asking you guys first, because I already have my opinion on it, and then I want to see if we're thinking the same thing or if I'm fucking off.
Yeah. And for that fight, how did you have it scored?
I had it 4-2.
Yeah, I had it
Abraham.
I had it 5-1 the first time around, and I know Gio had a little bit closer.
Yeah. And then after hearing Gio, I could see it a little bit 3-3.
Yeah, I had it 4.5 to 2.5.
Yeah, and
it was pretty close.
And the final scorecard was, I think it was,
I forgot, but Abraham Lopez
lost.
So I mean, you guys know me. Like I think the past 2 fights that we've done in the events, like if I see a judge score it wrong, I usually like bent off.
You guys called him off, and you guys
I
had
called him
Gio had the
off.
judge like right next to him.
Mhm.
That was funny.
But this one was special for me because I was speechless.
Yeah, no, yeah,
That's how I
No,
felt
yeah.
too.
yeah. Same here. I was just like,
Yeah.
I was shaking my head. I was
Yeah,
like,
why?
did I hear right? Like,
Oh yeah. When that scorecard got announced, I feel like I got knocked out. Like I could hear the ring, like ding.
yeah. And we have a clip of Freddie Roach's reaction.
Yeah.
He just
I'm
looks
like-
lost in the corner.
I have a video because I'm like, dude, honestly, I wasn't even paying attention to the.
Yeah, we weren't paying attention because we
I was
all
pulling
thought
out my
it was already.
phone,
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
I
like.
pulled out my phone. I'm like, I'm gonna post something for an
Yeah.
Instagram story. I zoom in
Yeah.
on Roach on AB Lopez. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna raise their hands right now. And then
And he caught the moment.
I was like, what the fuck?
Man,
Oh,
he just
man.
Freddie just he looks.
Oh man. See, boxing is a joke, dude. It is. Like, and I get frustrated with what happens outside the ring. Yeah, but here's a preview of what I would have probably said, and I withheld a lot.
Is what I would say.
I even about
Roger that.
about boxing politics, right? I even created that stupid board, and I talk about like the A side and the blue side, and in the end, we were talking about scorecards like the Canelo Mayweather and the Triple G and Canelo. Like, we talk about how is it that who are these judges to score fights when they never actually lace the gloves at all?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, this is a prime example. And so when I heard the scorecard, I clicked. I wanted to go outside. I took out my headsets and I told you, "Hey, I'm gonna go interview Freddie Roach. Like, I really want to know like what's going on because this is like, I don't want to say the word, but this is not fair. This is not a fair result." So I got up and I went back to the locker room, and I'm not gonna mention somebody's name, but let's just say that they're part of the promotion. And they're coming out of the locker room as I'm going in, and I'm walking towards him, and I'm just like shaking my head, and I see I say the R word, robbery. Like, I just saw a robbery, and he looks at me, and he's just like,
Yeah.
and he's just devastated because he knows,
You
like,
know.
yeah, if he knows, and this is somebody like and I'm not gonna mention his name. And he just passes by, and then I'm walking towards Abraham. He's sitting down, and Abraham just has this just like this. He's just
Like a
dead.
disbelief.
Just there. And I'm glad that you interviewed Freddie Roach before the fights.
Beforehand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And you know how you mentioned like, oh, you know, I don't think it's good to like interview the fighter before or
just do it after. Right?
do it after.
But yeah.
No,
And just to mention, the other guys had a record of 17 wins and 13 losses, I
Yeah,
believe, or
about that.
13 wins, 17 losses.
He had multiple
I think he had 17
digit
losses. but
Yeah.
He was a guy that was under 500.
Yeah, so I see Abraham sitting down, and I tell him, "Hey, just to let you know, I did the ringside commentating, and I had you winning 4 rounds to 2. What do you had? What did you had it?" And he was being optimistic. He's like, "Yeah, you know," he was trying to be upbeat. "Yeah, man, like I feel like I won like the fight," but you could see it in his face, like still like back of his mind, like just shock and disbelief. And he sits down, and he doesn't know like what to do. He's just sitting down. I guess he wants to take off his shoes, and he's just like, he's not concentrated. You could tell he's lost sitting down, like just by the result. And I see her, the manager that we were talking to, Freddie Roach. What was her name?
Skipping my mind right
Yeah,
You could skip her.
yeah. Her. She comes by because she sees Abraham trying to take off his shoes, and Abraham is having a hard time. And I think he could have done it. It's just that he was not mental. He's just
not mentally there.
He's not
like,
there. He's not there. And I tell her, give me the scissors, and I got the scissors, and I just got on my knee, and I just took off, and I ripped up the lace that was strapped, and he just, you can see his body language. He's just not there, and I'm just trying to like see, I'm just trying to help him out because like this kid just got robbed, and I'll go into like why I hate that shit, and I tell him like, everybody saw it. You won the fight, and
he won.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah.
And then I saw Freddie Roach come by. And just to let you know, the whole atmosphere in the locker room felt like somebody died. Like nobody was talking to each other at all. Let's just get the gloves. Let's get the stuff. Let's just get the fuck out of here.
And before you forget to mention it as well, right after the fight, the ring announcer, he said, "Oh, we have a special guest tonight, Freddie Roach, Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach." And then he had to stand in the ring for an extra 10 seconds. People clap, whatever, and then he just left.
Yeah.
I think during the broadcast, I'm like, I don't think Freddie Roach is like too happy right now. I don't know why they.
Yeah, so I go up to Freddie Roach, and I tell him, hey, I did the commentating. I had him winning 4-2. Like, what were your thoughts? He's like, oh, I think we did enough to win the fight. But he didn't want to continue interviewing. Yeah. He just didn't want to. And I'm like, okay. And I just go back to Abraham. I'm just observing. I'm not asking him no questions. I'm just like there, just like God in disbelief. Like it's one thing like when you watch boxing, right, and you see like an unfair scorecard and you're so pissed off, like not because you put money in the fight because you lost, but you're so pissed off at the way that how it was scored, like something injustice happened. Yeah, like that's what happened, dude. And then Freddie Roach comes up to Abraham Lopez, and they're not even talking. They're just taking out the gloves. They're not even talking, and you can see it. Like everybody is just trying to like pat Abraham, like you did good. Like you did good, Abraham. But Abraham doesn't give a shit about any of those words. Yeah. And this is what gets me wrong when it comes down to scorecards like that, dude. Like you're robbing somebody of 4 months of their lives, and like one scorecard or one fight that puts you in L, like brings you down to like 2 or 3 year setback, dude.
Yeah, I believe Abraham up and coming into that fight was like 8-1. So
yeah, he just had that one blemish.
8-2 looks a lot worse.
Yeah, and to me it's sad when we have judges that like you in like even I'm stunned even talking about it, dude. It's just it pisses me off because I watch boxing and I don't like it when I see like that when a young man gets robbed about something that he does for the love of the game, Yeah.
For me, like I know judging is a tough job. Like it's very hard. It is hard. Like especially when it's a close fight, like that can be pretty tough. So I try to see what did the judges see, but like even me stretching my head around now, I'm like I couldn't find like he was Viviano was like a busier and he was fighting a good fight for for what was expected, but like it still wasn't enough.
You guys watch it again?
Yeah, I saw it again, and I had it a little bit closer than when I first saw it, but still like it wasn't enough. Like, and Gio, you mentioned a good point. Like AB was landed one good one, and Viviano landed 3 kind of sloppy ones, but that's not. When you're a judge, you're supposed to count like the ones that like the hits that land. He made it a little bit messy, but at the end
it's just that Abraham like kind of he basically controlled the whole fight. Like he did he produced the fight, scripted the fight, directed the fight, ended the fight with a W, and he lost. And then you can see. Oh, that's one thing I do want to talk about. After they announced the winner, even they were stunned.
Yeah, wasn't there like a little?
They were just like. And then like the trainer from the other trainer goes to Freddie Roach like just like they hit the lottery, dude.
Yeah. Even Jim Fitzgerald, I think he was having he took a minute to read the cards. Like I don't think he even thought he was reading the right card.
And it was crazy because we were saying the scorecards were going to be interesting because obviously Abraham Lopez being on that red corner with Freddie Roach on his side, we thought that they were not going to score it very closely that fight, right?
Yeah.
So we're expecting like a 5-1 for Abraham Lopez, judging these judges. If that makes sense. But then, it was shocking, man.
Just like that. It's just sometimes you couldn't. And if I would have been there and if I would have stayed there, I would have probably approached a judge.
The judges, I was going to tell you.
I would have told him like, hey, dude, not dude, because there was a woman too, but I would have just said like, I have a problem with your scorecard.
Yeah, and you mentioned in previous podcasts like, who are these guys to judge a fight? Like, I'm pretty sure none of these guys have ever boxed. They don't even look like they've ever done sports in their lives. I don't think they've ever been punched in the face before. So I would love to talk to one of those boxing judges and just trying to see what goes through their heads, because they can go to school and get trained and shit like that, but
something was off.
Yeah.
And we've seen that many times in boxing, in big fights with judges who are supposed to be renowned and, you know, have a lot of experience, things like that.
Yeah, and I took pictures, and I posted them on Instagram, and you could see that like he looked deflated, Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And during the broadcast, I said, you know, I could see a 3-3, like at best for Jesus Bibiano. But with these judges, I don't think it's going to go that way, because the whole thing again, Lopez with Freddie Roach in his corner, you know, he has an 8-1 record. So it was pretty shocking.
Yeah, and we still have fights to cover afterwards. I think like 2 or 3. But that was just like
we got deflated a little bit just because we just
even after the fights were done, we were still talking about it. Just like
we had a guy fight by the name of by the alias of Triple V. That was interesting. And that I want to mention that too, because this dude rocked the other guy. The other guy was making his debut, and I forgot to check Triple V's. I'm gonna keep saying that over and over. I forgot to check his like amateur record, because this guy, it was like his 5th fight as a professional, or 4th.
Yeah, we saw him.
This guy looked good, man.
The last one.
Yeah, this guy looked good. Like,
I was like, I think somebody else has something
he
like
was
that.
From
right?
Romania.
Triple B. Like, I think he got it from somebody.
Yeah, some other guy.
Yeah, he's from Romania, and he was boxing.
Put my word into it.
A young guy making his debut, and he fucking rocked him, dude. His nose is bloody like a what? It's bleeding like a what?
Like a faucet.
Like a faucet, man. But the dude did not give up. This dude was bleeding for 4 rounds, and he kept fighting. His blood was left all over the ring.
Yeah,
I was scared that I was scared that the blood was gonna fly on us.
Yeah, I was surprised he survived, because you just see the technical difference between both fighters. You know, the guy that was making a debut, he didn't have like a jab, right, to save his life, and so
he wasn't very skilled. But
he found a way to survive.
Eddie, he always likes to mention at the end of fights, like, you know, that's why we bring him back, because he can fight. You know, regardless if he wins or loses, like, he can fight. And he was one of those, like, he didn't give up. And then after the fight, when we're broadcasting the fights live, right, Allstar Boxing and MMA, and this guy comes behind us, like, to say hi to the cameras and stuff, and we're just like, dude, respect, like, because this guy did not give up, and he was cool. Like, he took an L, but pretty sure he learned a lot.
Yeah,
that's why that's more of a satisfying loss than the one that Abraham lost.
Yeah, we always mention about learning something about yourself, right? I'm pretty sure he learned something in every single round about himself.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to quit at some point, but
he's gonna gain from it.
Yeah. And that brings me back to the other fight with Harris, where Harris lost. You know, he got knocked out early in the fight, took a liver shot, and we almost thought like, oh, this might be it. Like, I don't think he's gonna get up from this. And anybody else, like, we wouldn't blame him.
Yeah,
body shots are the toughest ones to recover from, you know. And so it was impressive how he got back up and he fought on. He lost, but like, man, to say like, hey, I got up. You didn't put me away.
I think my favorite thing from the event was covering the Long Beach fighter, Jeter.
Oh, Jeter,
and what's the other guy's name?
John. No.
Gutierrez.
Against who?
Jeter.
Yeah, Jeter.
It was like Roger Gutierrez.
Yeah, Roger.
I'll pull it up right now. I still have the.
That fight was so sick to cover.
Close. That one was close.
Because it could go either way, and Jeter and Gutierrez, the other fighter, reminded me of like I'm back in 1960, like, and to the point you already know what I'm gonna say, right? Like we came out with a new slogan, and like both fighters were fighting inside, and it was basically phone booth season, dude.
Phone booth season.
Just like 1, 2, 1, 2. Both of them were going at it, and I was telling matchmaker Eddie, right? Like, what's your opinion of this fight? And he loved it, man.
Yeah,
he loved it.
Yeah, that was the toughest one to score, because
and I was going through the Facebook comments too, people watching the fights live, and you know, it was split too. Like, we even mentioned during the broadcast, like, everything is split. Like, the crowd was split between who they were supporting. These guys are punching each other like evenly.
Yeah. And I mentioned to you guys after the third round, I'm not gonna bother scoring it. It was just like, I'm just gonna write 10-10 for every single, like, it's just like,
that's the only time.
It's a draw.
That's the only time we have sympathy for the judges. But even then, just score it as a close fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it could go either way, but as long as it's a close fight.
And Jeter won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he pulled it off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember we seen him lose.
Yeah.
The last time we covered his fights. Once again he was fighting a guy with a lot of losses, and he got knocked down, and then he just couldn't get back into the fight.
Yeah,
I mean, these are like 6-round fights, so if you get knocked down, that's already, you're in a big hole already.
And do you remember that fight? Something about that fight that I remember so vividly is that he just like he went into Joshua Cloudy mode where he just had his hands up and he wasn't throwing anything. He was just getting overwhelmed with his opponent's volume, and I feel like
he was just like stunned, like literally. He was just like, "Fuck, what do I do?"
And he learned from that fight. You know, even in defeat, he learned from that fight, and he let his hands go this time around.
Yeah,
and
remember,
Chris? We talked about that point, right? We're like,
this guy's like a shadow. Remember, we're like, dude,
Oh, yeah.
the other guy, this Roger Gutierrez guy, is gonna look in the mirror and he's just gonna see Jeter there standing.
And when he wakes up tomorrow morning, and Jeter's gonna be right next to him.
When he closes his eyes, he's gonna see Jeter.
Yeah, that was hilarious because it was so true.
When
man.
he's walking, that's not a shadow. That's Derek Jeter.
Yeah, and it was like the old cliche of boxing, right? Styles makes fights. They were both like conjoined twins.
They do a great job at that Allstar
brothers.
Boxing Promotions and Eddie the matchmaker, like making guys fight each other who are gonna generate that type of action.
Yeah, and that's the type of fight. Like, it could have gone either side. It could have been a draw. It could have been.
It's one of those fights that if you fight them like 10 times, they'll probably go at 0-0 and 10 draws. So true. That's how even it was, dude. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, it was a good fight.
Yeah, that was a sick fight.
And we're talking about knockdowns too, right? Jhon Sanchez Leon,
Again,
our boy from Colombia.
Who
did he fight?
He took on Jonathan Espino, a guy
there
that
you
previously.
go.
And
How can I
Espino
forget
brought
the
him
name?
down.
Yeah.
How can I forget the name?
And
You know what to do.
when we were, when these guys were walking into the ring, we were saying like, we already know what Espino does, right? We saw the big knockout that he got last time.
Yeah, over Sakia.
He made a guy do the dancing balloon man dance.
Now, that's the thing with Espino. He's got that power to, to knock you down and take you out. And yeah, I thought Leon was gonna be out of.
You know what's so funny, dude? When I saw Espino knock him down, I'm like, shit, he did it again.
Oh man, you gotta put that clip up.
Oh,
after
man.
this so people. So.
Oh man,
If you would have said we're gonna see the balloon man again, I would have lost it probably.
No, but that's one thing about like covering fights like that, right? It's just that anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
And Espino proved me wrong, and he lasted all throughout the fights. But the Colombian man took the W that day. But
just to give you guys a brief summary of that fight. First round, we mentioned about Espino's power, and the guy he was fighting, guy from Colombia, I think his record was 3-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He had the height advantage. He was longer, and he was the more technical fighter. You can tell from the first round, but he got caught in that first round and went down, and he was able to survive. Yeah, and he gave him a punch, right? He was able to survive, and then and we mentioned it after the first round, dude. Like, this is what Espino does, right? He either knocks you out or gets knocked out, and we're like, this guy from Colombia needs to win every single round to win this fight now. And he did just that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the toughest things. Like, when you get hurt, like, how do you compose yourself? How do you weather the storm? Because Espino, we've seen him before. He gets you hurt and he gets you out of there. So I was thinking that might happen again. He might clock him with another punch and get him out. But nah, el Colombiano stay composed and saw it out.
Yeah, nice guy, man.
Yeah.
We talked to him after the fight.
You got a selfie with him?
Oh yeah. You gotta send me those.
and then we had the two women that fought
The main event.
And this is exactly when I came out of the locker room with Freddie Roach, and came right in time. But I was not concentrated with the fight. I was just still stunned. But after I saw the replay, I saw the fight. I'm like, man, she demolished that woman, man.
And I told you, right, when she was coming out, I'm like, Chris, this is the best boxer here at this event today. And mostly every fight we've seen her in, she does that. The Cobra Ruiz, that's who we're speaking about.
Yeah.
She just runs through her opponent, man. It's going to be tough to find a good opponent for her because she's very, very good boxer, very
Yeah.
technical, has the power.
She has a future. You could tell, like, it's not that who she brought into the. She could obviously sell seats, but
yeah,
her style fits
It's
the what we want to see in the ring, and like you could see like those punches, like
yeah.
it was kind of like, I'm not trying to compare her, but it was like the fight with Inoue,
Mhm.
yeah.
like she's a stalker,
Yeah,
and just
Stalker.
Yeah.
She's technically sound.
Yeah.
She's like a boxer puncher.
she's a predator at work.
You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of Mikey Garcia, man. Very well balanced. She doesn't waste any shots,
Yeah,
and when they land, they land.
Yeah, and yeah, she has 7 wins with 4 knockouts. So like, you know, most of the time you're gonna get, you know, that knockout.
Respect whoever survived against her.
yeah. No, respect to anybody who wants to get in the ring with her.
Yeah, yeah. She went up against Joseph. So yeah, like she got knocked down a few times and she tried to get back up, but you could just see like, just why they call her Cobra. You know, she gets them out.
Do you still have the picture? Who else did we forget to mention?
I think we mentioned all of them. Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so we learned a lot. We saw a lot during that day. We saw a lot of good fights. We saw an unfair scorecard. We saw Hall of Famer Freddie Roach there, and
You know what my favorite part was? It was a big drama show. That was my favorite part. Throughout the night, something was happening in every fight. Whether it was a knockdown, whether it was the judges fucking being blind again, whether it was people
season.
fucking bleeding, phone booth season. Yeah, at one point we're just like, dude, they don't even need the other side of the ring. These guys are just fighting in this corner.
Fighting in the corner.
You could you said you could put them in an elevator and
Yeah.
they'll be fighting, huh?
They'll be still fighting.
Yeah. Oh. Good
So
night.
That
Good
was a
night.
good night. So the next
Yeah,
one
man.
is when?
December 22nd. So this time we don't have to
Yeah.
wait too long. So
Yeah.
You guys
so
want to
that's sweet.
do another giveaway?
Yeah.
okay.
Shout out to Miguel and Evan.
We're gonna
They-
have some giveaways, by the way, to let you know, with the Creed experience too.
Yeah,
got
shout out
some
to Miguel and Evan, his 10-year-old son.
Yeah.
They
Thanks
went
for-
out there, checked out the fights. Pretty sure they enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing another giveaway, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
So with that, we'll transition over to Creed 2. Chris, tell us about your experience.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So I was before then, I was mentioning, like, remember I was talking about, like, I want to be reactive instead of proactive, right? Kind of left that off when I came down to, like, talking about Fight Night. So that 2 hours before the podcast, I ended up communicating with Serbios. That's the company that made Creed Experience. And I wanted to see if I'm able to chop it up with them. And I didn't know this until, like, the next day, that they were actually going to have a collaboration at the ComplexCon on Sunday. So I already had bought my ticket on Friday, and I'm like, oh, snaps. And then you let me know, hey, Christian, they hit us back up. I'm like, oh. So then I started, like, communicating with them back and forth, and they had a set up time to, like, for me to come and, like, not lace the gloves, but lace the VR headset. And man,
Shout out to Bad News Burrell, right? That's his name?
Yeah, I'll
Dean
get
Burrell.
Yeah, I'll get to the experience.
Got beef with that, man.
Yeah.
We got Instagram beef.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. We're gonna go to his gym, by the way. Just to let you know.
I'm gonna be like, all right, hey, this is Gio over here.
I'm like, we're in the wrong weight class.
Yeah, but
I only fight in catch
my name
weights.
is Christian.
which one, right? And yeah, so I had a set up time to be there at I think like at 1. And what was funny was that I didn't check my email that they set it up to 2 p.m. I guess they changed the time. But I got there and I showed them, like, oh, hey, look, I'm set up to come at this time to test out the game. They're like, yeah, it's cool. So they got me in, and then instead of me playing it, I wanted to see how the reaction was with the people. And there was a long line, dude. There was like 30 people, like, waiting for this game. And I started, like, saying, you know what? Let me test it out. After I saw 2 people, I was recording it. And, dude, virtual reality headset and boxing, dude, is gonna change, like, the game as far as, like, in the future when you go to a gym. Let me tell you something. Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. till 10:30, I'm at the beach running, like, 2 or 3 miles, then I go straight to the gym. I don't break a sweat until probably, like, the second mile. I broke a sweat, dude, probably during the first 30 seconds when I had that headset, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the coolest thing is that it's literally like you're boxing.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how you were talking about, like we have a friend in Fight Night that just throws all the
Shout out to Ivan.
until he gets gassed out, and then you counter punch him, and then you knock him out. You can't do that in this game, dude. You can't. And part of the reason is because one, you're gonna get tired, dude.
You better be in good shape if you're gonna do that.
You're gonna get tired.
You better be Leo Santa Cruz, Paul Williams if you're gonna do that, dude.
And then when the virtual your opponent hits you, you have to have your hands up to block the shots. And then if you get knocked out, right? If you get knocked out, you start you ever seen the movie? It came out like in oh my gosh, it's about the African American guy. I forgot. It just came out like it was like a scary movie. It came out like in January last year. Or 2
Get
years.
Out.
Get Out.
Get Out. Okay.
You know how he fades back.
Yeah.
In the black. It was just like that. You get knocked out, and then
You go into the universe.
and then you go to
dark hole.
Yeah, that's how it is. You
like
get
you black out.
then you black out. You back white. So the only way you could come back from return, you have to go like this.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah.
You know,
Holy shit!
yeah, you have
That's
to-
like you're doing ropes.
Yes, it's the same thing, dude. And you
Okay.
get tired.
Yeah.
And if you got really like knocked out, you have to go faster. You go like this,
Okay.
dude. And I'm like
They're
breaking,
digging deep or something.
yes,
right? Yeah.
dude. And I'm breaking like literally a sweat, dude.
Damn.
And keep in mind, I'm not sure how stupid I look because I have the headset. You can only
Yeah.
imagine like that guy dope. Yeah, but it was so dope because like I was like, you know how I'm at the gym throwing jabs like already,
Yeah.
but right there, just jab, like hook left, like you're literally boxing, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, and that's what I was saying to you like 2 years ago. Coincidentally, I was at ComplexCon doing Call of Duty,
Yeah.
and it was like, all right,
It's all right.
it's all right. And I remember like years ago when I used to play PlayStation, I used to have a friend that would go like this with the control, like thinking like it can actually move, like it can act like it can move it, but not necessarily, dude. And this, you literally have to do your head movement. You literally have to have
do
your
like boxing.
hands up. You literally have to throw the jab.
Dang.
And I mentioned to you guys, like, what do you guys take away when you guys play FIFA? Like, do
Yeah.
you guys incorporate that into the real world? Oh, man, this game right there. And I'm not just trying to say it because I'm going to have a meeting with them on Tuesday, but this game, dude, damn.
It's like you're at the gym.
You're
Like,
at the gym.
You're practicing the
Yeah.
stuff that you practice at
Yeah,
the gym.
and Gio and Chris, you cannot wear jeans when you're when you're playing this video. You got to have your shorts, put your dry fish shirt,
yeah.
and put your headband. Because you're literally going to sweat, dude, when you're playing this game.
Canelo
dude.
headband?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Man.
so props to them with this game, dude. Like,
Yeah,
they
it
deliver,
was good.
dude.
Yeah.
They deliver. Like, I'm so, like, fucking ecstatic just because, like, the potential of what we're going to have later on in the future.
Did they say anything about the cost or anything? Of
But the video game is $30. But then you also have to.
Not bad. What the hell?
You have to, but you also
To buy the
have
system.
the VR.
Oh,
that's it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
don't
see.
worry.
I see.
That's coming soon for me. After playing this game, dude, I am
Black
not
Friday?
lying. Black Friday. Black Friday. Seriously. But this game, I'm so excited.
No, man, that's cool, man. That's,
Yeah.
You're getting a full workout. Like,
It is and I was watching the people play, and they were all having fun, man.
Yeah.
And this is why I was talking about boxing, how it's becoming mainstream. Having a video game brings people to the sport,
yeah.
right? So in this case, like this game, like the movie is out. It's gonna come out in 2 weeks. And then you have the video game playing Adonis. It's such a great experience, like boxing, dude.
Is it just his character?
Oh, you can play. I'm not sure about that because I was just playing the demo.
Oh, okay.
I got knocked out in the second round, dude. Like that's yeah.
Damn. Is that
This is boxing, dude. It's not video game anymore. Like it's literally like real life.
second round? You sure it's not Rocky 3?
Nah, no, I love it. And so we have we're gonna meet with the developers on Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to like chopping it up with them and just see the potential of what could happen later on in the future. And so
Man, I hope they have the demo up. I want to practice it too.
yeah.
Hopefully they-
So this is a 2-part series. So the event was awesome because they had the game, and next week I'll talk about the questions that we came up with when we interviewed them on Tuesday. So that's that with the video game. Awesome experience. One day you guys are gonna experience it and you guys are gonna love it. And the Creed experience though, we had a what was his name, Gio?
Dean Burrell.
Dean
Bad
Burrell.
News.
Bad News. So yeah,
Professional boxer,
professional
right?
boxer.
He's like 13-1.
13-1. And he was sparring there, just demonstrating his skills with his wife.
I got a message for you, Bad News.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
So me and him, I was telling him about my position in boxing, and we were chopping it up. So I ended up discussing like who are your top 5 pound for fighters, who's your favorite heavyweights, and we were talking for a
good
while,
interview.
man.
That was a good
We
interview.
were talking for a while, and what was so cool was talking about it outside, like. When we were done with the interview, we just started talking about. He wanted to know who was my top 5.
That's when you were more relaxed.
Yeah,
right?
we were just like chopping it up, just like we knew each other like friends and stuff like that. And it's just it was just so nice talking to him because like it's always nice having a conversation with a boxer just because they could give you the whole like analysis. That's why like it's interesting that he has Terrence Crawford as number 1, right? But he's looking at it. He's looking at it from the sense of like as a boxer.
Yeah.
You know. You have something with that, G, or no?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, so then like, and then I was like, I was done with the interview. You know how I was, you know, I got to do this. Hey, you mind if you could do a special shout out?
I have a friend.
I have a friend that has.
He's not in his right senses.
He's not. He has like Terrence Crawford. I think like number 5. He's like, nah, bro. He was just like, nah. He's like, dude, can you give a special? He's like, yeah. He's not just recorded it. He was just. And then I just saw it. Then I had to quickly text
him,
Gio, like, I got to send this to him right now. And then I saw him respond after you responded back to him.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
that's when that Instagram beef happened. Started.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool dude, man.
Yeah, cool dude.
Shout out to Bad News.
We're going to meet him, just to let you know. So be ready.
Yeah, we'll link his stuff up too. We'll link his Instagram and all that.
Once you get the system, he could play against him. I mean, I don't think he's going to want to take him and set an actual ring.
He has a twin brother.
I'll fight him virtually.
Yeah, maybe not. But
he has a twin brother, fights too, or no?
I'm not sure. I think.
Yeah, I was checking. I don't know. I was checking out his Instagram though. I've seen that he has a brother, twin.
Yeah, it's a twin brother. But we'll talk about him when we meet him sometime soon. I know his next fight, I think, is in December 13th.
Where's he fighting?
Yeah, I forgot. I know he's fighting in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's but we're gonna cover him later on.
What division is he in again?
I'm supposed to know this.
Super middleweight?
No.
Nah, he's smaller. I don't know. We'll look it up, dude. But
yeah, we'll look at him.
Where do you have him on your top 10 pound for pound?
Him? He's just barely getting into the game, man.
I was gonna say we could talk to Eddie, bring him on one of our cards.
Yeah,
could match him up.
Yeah, he'll be fun to talk and give us more of analysis about what he sees inside and outside the ring.
Yeah, because the interview, it was more of a conversation, right?
Yeah.
We don't do interviews, we do conversations. But it was like 5 minutes long, right? And it was just like quick, topic after topic. He talked about like everything that we talk about.
And you can see that he was feeling himself, right?
Yeah.
You can see he's like. Yeah, so we'll meet him up sometime soon. But yeah, so they hooked me up with a T-shirt. I ended up getting that Creed 2 shirt with the. I didn't even know the fight was gonna be in Brooklyn at the Barclays. So Barclays. Yeah. So that was an awesome experience, and I think Newz is actually a boxing fan, dude. I think, he's a boxing fan.
Talk about that. Who'd you run into?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
I know we got some Newz fans in.
Yeah, thankfully.
Nasir Jones.
Yeah, thankfully Newz was right next to the Creed experience. And I see somebody walking. I'm like, why is there like all these people behind them? And I'm like, oh damn, that's Newz.
You like Newz, Brian? He says yes.
Yeah.
Esco. Where did we go see in Vegas?
Yeah, DJ Esco.
DJ
But
Esco?
no, he met Escobar, man. Newz. ComplexCon.
Yeah. So then I
in Long Beach.
see everybody trying to take his picture, and nobody's trying to take his picture because there's like 5 bodyguards around them, dude. Like all big guys, like Mayweather type people, bodyguards. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna face him off. Like, yes, I'm just gonna confront him and be like, hey, Newz, like, can I take a picture of you? And I just, instead of following him, I just go like the other way, face him off. And he looks at me. He had like this smirk looking at me. Like, I'm like, hey, Newz, you mind if I take a picture with you? And he kind of like, I think he was looking at my sweater, dude, because he looked at me. He's like, he's just, yeah, bro, like, you just come over here. And I go up to him. He's like, take a picture of him. And then everybody in the back is just like, they're all pissed off because he was just walking. Like, he left like everybody in the dust. So, yeah, I think Newz is a boxing fan. I think one of his songs was in the Creed album, in the previous one.
Yeah, I think one of his songs was in there.
Yeah, so I met him, and then I met Ben Staples.
North.
Yeah, he was in a hurry. I told him, hey, man, if I take a picture, he's like, nah, bro, I can't because I gotta leave already. He had all these bags of shoes and stuff like that. Ran into Victor Cruz, too.
Okay.
Yeah, hilarious guy. I was able to talk to him briefly. But I'm glad that Creed 2, the experience in the VR game, was at ComplexCon because it was able to bring a lot of people into like the sport of boxing.
Yeah,
like
that's
even
dope.
like bad news Burrell, he was talking about it. Like this brings popular to the sport. Like it brings people into the community of boxing. So yeah, that's my whole thing with Creed 2, and we'll be talking about it more next week when I interview with them on Tuesday.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll give you guys a lot of the things that we find out about this game, what new innovative features they have, and anything else that you guys might be interested in knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giveaway coming soon.
Giveaway coming. The Creed 2, the movie's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you guys a video, man. I can't wait to go see that movie.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's going to be dope. And speaking of...
I'm going to go back and watch Creed 1.
Yeah, speaking of
before I watch
Creed.
Creed 2, man.
So Mr. Tony Bellew
Mm-hmm.
is going to be fighting Usyk this Saturday.
Saturday.
Let's talk about this because I feel like we should really go in on this fight. Who do you have winning right now?
I mean, Usyk is in the pound for pound rankings for a reason, and so I think Tony Bellew is a very skilled fighter. You know, he's coming down from heavyweight, so it's not gonna be an easy fight for Usyk. It's gonna be a good fight, but yeah, Usyk.
Yeah.
I won't say knockout. I'll say decision.
And you, Gio?
I haven't watched any of them fight live. I don't think so. Dude, I watch so many fights that I forget names.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen highlights of both of them. And, well, it looks like Usyk should be able to pull it off. But it should be good. Where are they fighting? You said Manchester?
Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
we know the crowd is going to be in favor of Bellew. All right.
So do you have, Chris?
I think there's two stories into this fight. One is Usyk has a challenge ahead of him that he wants. You know what that challenge is, right?
Joshua.
Him fighting Anthony Joshua.
It's a big challenge.
It's too small, though, right?
He's going to fight him eventually. Yeah, it's going to happen.
6'2".
I mean, when you say
Usyk?
when you say too small, like that's what we thought when we saw Povetkin fight Joshua. And Povetkin gave him a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge with Usyk. He already sees what's the grand prize. The grand prize is not be undisputed because he already is undisputed.
Yeah.
He did the ultimate achievement. Now it's like heavyweight, right? But on the other side is Tony Bellew. And this is a guy that's going to fight his last fight. And he's already been on record talking about, oh, like, after this fight, I'm done. And, like, he already... And I'm not trying to knock out Tony Bellew because I like him. He's a great fighter. But if I'm a fighter, and if I know this is my last fight, dude, don't talk about it to anybody.
Don't say it. Yeah, because your mind's already retired.
Yeah, your mind is already retired.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, it's something like... That's something I didn't mention anybody with the marathon. Like, I don't want that to, like, creep in.
Yeah.
Like, I want that. I want to be alone. Don't let that be an excuse. If I did it, people will sympathize me. If I didn't complete the marathon, nah. Tony Bellew, I'm not trying to knock him down, but I'm just saying, like, don't give me sympathy if you lose because this is your last fight.
Yeah, because you see one guy with a big goal. You see this guy's already, like, semi-retired in a way. It's like, now you need to go in there with all this belief that you can win this fight. You're going up against Usyk. You know, this guy's he's no joke. He's very talented,
and
very technical.
I think I have Usyk winning it probably in the 8th round.
Oh, knockout.
Technical knockout.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, and that fight is this Saturday, November
10th.
This Saturday,
November 10th on DAZN.
DAZN
live. I've been hearing that the main event is going to start around 10 p.m. local time, so 2 here, 2 p.m., 1 p.m., something like that.
Pacific time.
With this whole time change is kind of weird, but yeah.
So if you don't have that app, subscribe because it's free. First month free, DAZN or DAZN. So that's going to be really cool seeing that fight.
Did you guys watch the Nonito fight last weekend?
Nonito fight?
I saw bits of it.
I mean, I saw what happened to the other fighter.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. So his opponent had a back injury while throwing a punch. He threw a punch, missed, hurt his back, couldn't continue.
Yeah.
So Nonito won. All right. Defense wins championships.
Well, I mean, we talked about this on Saturday. I didn't saw the fight, but then I saw the highlight of the guy getting hurt is injured. When I saw that injury,
it's like a back spasm, huh?
When I saw the injury, I already knew what it was, and I saw it and I started hitting myself because it was giving me like post-traumatic stress when I fractured my back. Like it's the same injury that I saw. Like the same face that he had, I had that face. The same like awkward twist that he had at his back, I had that same like twist. Like, I saw the same face, same injury. you're done for 3.5 months. Like, so like I already know like that injury is gonna. I knew it right away what it was already,
And that was his first loss too.
That's
Yeah.
his first loss.
And even when he was sitting down, like that was me when I was in bed right there.
Yeah, that's a tough way to get your first loss, you know, and it's gonna set him back. He was gunning for that. He was one of the favorites to win the Ali Trophy, and that $2 million purse, I believe. So it's a setback. I heard that he went to the hospital, but he couldn't really get I think he only got painkillers. So
Yeah, just even we talking about it already hurts my back, and I'm not exaggerating. It just gives me bad memories.
Yeah.
Any other breaking news you guys have?
So yeah, there's some random news that I want to talk about. You have some news, Chris?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So the Ghost is coming out.
Yeah, saw that.
You saw that? Oh shit. Robert Guerrero.
Oh, that ghost.
That Ghost
A lot of ghosts in boxing.
tricked you. I already knew that was going to be the reaction. Yeah, so Robert Guerrero is coming back from retirement. And he's going to be on the undercard of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury this December 1st. So they're just stacking up that fight. So there's already stacked up with
Oh shit. Who's he
Jarett
fighting?
Hurd.
Do we know?
Do we know? No, not yet. We just know that he's coming back from retirement. I think he sees a lot of fighters coming, and there's a lot of money in the line, so why not?
Yeah, even if it's just stepping stone type, like you're still gonna get paid, and so
Yeah.
he sees potential.
And you want to follow up with news? I have some other stuff.
I don't really have news. I mean, it's not official yet, but like, so I'll let Gio go. And
Okay.
I don't have anything.
no.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, then it's not news, so I don't know if we want to talk about it, but it's potential possibilities.
You know how much I hate those.
I don't know if you guys want to entertain that.
I think let's just wait
Just wait.
because maybe
What
because
was it?
no.
You already know.
I know.
Yeah.
So, but I'll help you with the answer,
Mhm.
and I'll let anybody to listen to it to come back to the podcast next week. So yeah, Tuesday is gonna be a big day, dude, in boxing. Like it is. It's gonna be Fox and PBC. They're gonna come out with their big press conference
Ooh.
in Los Angeles.
Go tune in for that.
They're gonna come out with all their 2019 calendar boxing fights.
It's gonna be good.
So that's why I was telling you might see an Al Heyman sighting. And when I say Al Heyman sighting, I'm talking about like he doesn't do anything. He doesn't even speak. He
He's
just
gonna be
does
there.
it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see all the boxing fighters from PBC in that day, and just like when you saw Adrian Broner, everybody all dressed up. Yeah, so they're gonna have a event just like that, like an Apple event for Premier Boxing. So there we'll find out what PBC is up to for the year 2019. So in that case, there's a potential fight that's gonna supposedly happen in March, and I think that's when we're gonna see it. That's why Mikey Garcia was interviewed this past week, and he was trying to like belittle it,
Yeah.
of course,
low-key,
because you
'cause
want
he
to
wants
make sure to announce it at the big
It's a
stage.
big announcement. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see all the fighters fighting in the calendar. So 2019 will be all set up for Premier Boxing Championships on Tuesday.
When you say set up, it's gonna be set up because these guys usually just fight twice a year. So that should at least, put the skeleton behind the schedule. So yeah, we'll wait next week to entertain that and see if it comes to fruition. We all know what we're talking about, but
Yeah.
next week, we'll see. We get breaking news.
So yeah, so next week we'll cover the analysis between Tony Bellew and Usyk. I'll give you guys the rundown feedback with what happened at the studio with the Creed 2 experience. And we also have the event tomorrow that we have to go to watch the Contender. So we have that going
Talk a
on
little bit about that.
At the Forum.
at the Forum. Go
What
ahead,
time does it
Gio.
start at 6 p.m.?
Starts at 4 p.m. We have to be there
4 p.m.?
at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh, all right. Yeah, tomorrow, the Contender finale. It's going to be filmed at the Forum. We got ourselves some tickets. We'll be there tomorrow.
We're gonna take our cameraman Alexis. So supportive of our endeavors.
Yeah, and I got to go back and watch it because I haven't started watching it actually. So I'll probably do that all day tomorrow morning. Check it out. But
You're going to have to watch
who's
9
in
hours.
it? Who's
So-
in it?
so the
Andre
fact-
Ward's in it. Freddie Roach is in it.
You have the Son of
Nassim.
God, Freddie Roach, Nassim Richardson, Sergio Mora.
Sugar Shane Mosley's son is in it, right? He's in the show as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm excited
I mean,
for that, actually.
I'm excited.
Should be
Just yeah,
Yeah, so it's gonna be Brandon Adams against Sugar Shane Mosley.
should have not said that. You have to watch that.
Oh.
You have to watch the episodes, Chris.
I don't even.
So-
See, this is the reason why. This is the reason why I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I was gonna leave it at that. I was gonna leave it at that.
Ah, Chris.
We can edit that out.
Scratching my
Change,
head.
I'll change my plans for tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are we doing tomorrow, Brian? Shit. God damn.
Oh. So yeah,
What's up?
tomorrow we're gonna watch the fights. It's gonna be an exciting day.
Chris.
What are we doing after? We'll talk about it.
We'll
off
talk
air.
about it after.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up with the Lakers, man? They're still not winning.
No playoffs. Playoffs. No playoffs. First round.
So we're gonna give
First
space
round,
to
what's-
our
What do you-
special guest to jump on board.
What do you think, dude?
Yeah,
Just quick prediction.
Lakers second round. They don't play the Warriors or the Rockets. Semis. Western Conference. Guarantee.
Similar to my
Guaranteed.
prediction. I said they're gonna be a first round exit because they're gonna play Rockets or Warriors.
Yeah.
Because I didn't
You're
think they were.
gonna-
I didn't
so-
think they were gonna get a higher than
7-8.
7th or 8th seed. Did you hear Christian's prediction?
No playoffs.
Did you hear Christian's prediction?
I gotta hear Christian's prediction for this one.
Watch the show.
I like that.
That's how you get views. Huh?
Yeah. Watch the show.
Yeah, but he had him at the Western Conference Finals.
Damn. Christian is bold.
You know they still gotta get by who? The Warriors. Well, assuming they're gonna play the Warriors in the finals, right? They get by the Spurs, which they lost twice too.
OKC's still gonna be a big player.
Yeah.
Spurs.
The Nuggets are doing
Nuggets.
pretty good. They're in second place right now. So
Yeah, usually
the Blazers. You better hope if they do play the Blazers that they don't get home court advantage.
usually basketball doesn't start until after the All-Star game.
Yeah.
After the All-Star game, we get an understanding like
If you're
we're all
winning.
teams.
If you're winning.
If you're
Well,
winning.
You saw what happened, right? Where last season, like you had the Cavaliers demolish that team. That's when the season started for the Cavaliers. So you never know what could happen with the Lakers. They could probably do a deja vu with LeBron being in that team. So let's see what happens with that.
You think he could keep up the pace
LeBron.
at
I
his
think
age?
I think
He's
Luke
averaging
Walton-
35 minutes.
I think Luke Walton's low key still resting him till till after the All-Star break. Because if you see some of the games he would rest
Yeah.
him in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go and they're losing, and like if you're LeBron James, if you're like Luke Walton, you got to play him.
Yeah.
No matter what. If you want, you can rest him in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, but you got to play him near the end of the fourth. Then you have that whole Magic Johnson talk to Luke Walton one-on-one. So
Oh, shit. LeBron back at it again.
I kind of gave Luke Walton, I guess, like a pass the first couple years. You know, he didn't really have any big all-stars. Last year he did pretty good. So
He
this
still
year's gonna be a
doesn't, though.
good. Apart from LeBron,
He has one All-Star and
that all-star.
a bunch
I
of
don't know.
22-year-olds.
Or unless because the West is so
Hey, you got
competitive, he's
JaVale.
actually trying to take a break. He's trying to rest him because he knows how competitive the Western Conference is.
Mosqueda agrees.
You agree, Mosqueda?
If he giggles, that means he agrees.
He must have agreed a lot with that, giggling all throughout the podcast.
Hey, you got JaVale McGee too, no?
Yeah, that's my best player in my fantasy team.
Gio's fantasy team.
I'm like 0-3. Shit.
Got Tyson Chandler as the backup.
Damn.
Rondo's playing pretty well.
Luke Walton's playing on more than Lonzo Ball too. Well, closing out the games.
Dude, it was so funny. I was hearing this podcast and they're talking about Lonzo's shot. They're saying he looks like he's dabbing every time he shoots. And then they also said that he looks like he's putting on his seatbelt every time he shoots.
Oh my god. I haven't seen those memes yet. You guys gotta make those into memes.
Yeah, but that was our Lakers expert, Mr. Brian. Any final words?
Hey,
That's it,
Brent,
man. Enjoy the podcast.
hey, Brent, I have a question. I keep hearing from people that talk Laker
You don't have to
basketball
answer
that
any of these
you
questions.
don't
by
have
the
to,
way.
but I keep hearing that Ingram is he's tradable now. Is this true? No.
No. You check his percentages, points, rebounds, assists. They've all improved.
Magic
so.
likes him too. Kobe likes him too.
I keep hearing that he doesn't.
I'm
I keep-
gonna disagree with you with that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Lonzo
disagree with
before
you.
Ingram.
I keep hearing that he
No.
doesn't
Lonzo
fit into
before Ingram?
the system
Yeah.
now, or
All
that's what I
right.
keep hearing.
Let me bring in
Maybe after the fight.
bring my basketball mode.
If you want to put it
All
this
right.
way, I still
Hold up.
I like Kuzma
All right.
more than
Yeah.
Ingram.
This no.
But I don't think the Lakers are gonna get rid of Ingram.
There's the fact that you're questioning that says that there is an argument that Ingram could get traded, and I'll tell you why. So before both general manager Mitch Kupchak and the other guy, Jim or Jerry Buss, they both left. If you think about during that time when they left, DeMarcus Cousins was on the table to get traded. And Sacramento, in this case, D-Bach, told we want Ingram for Cousins. And as soon as Mitch Kupchak said no, what happened the next week? Both of them were out. And what ended up happening the next week? Collateral damage. In this case, Jeannie Buss said, Magic Johnson said, oh, no, the one Laker that's untouchable is Brandon Ingram. Of course you're going to say that. If you're not going to say that, you're going to make sure that that conversation between DeMarcus Cousins and Brandon Ingram is like supposedly tradable and it could happen. Of course. So, yeah, Brandon Ingram is tradable, dude. Anybody's tradable. That's my analysis.
Damn.
Right there for basketball.
Western Conference Finals.
Western Conference Finals.
Here we come.
Yeah.
We got an Ingram trade, Western Conference Finals.
Hang on, trading for Jimmy Buckets.
Hey,
Jimmy Buckets.
you never know.
Let's bring in Kawhi.
We'll
Where's
see
the laugh
about
at?
that.
Bring that laugh back.
We'll see. But I'm hungry, man.
Yeah,
Anything else we got?
That's it.
That's it.
that's it.
That's it.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast. Catch us next week when we review the Tony Bellew fight and Usyk, and we will see who got that right.
Ring the bell.
Bing, bing, bing.
All right.
Peace.
Against the ropes.
Against the ropes, number one.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.